limit your options and narrow your focus. I don't want any external factors pulling bandwidth from me. I just want to focus on this one thing right now. That's the only thing I truly care about because it matters.
Your greatness is on the other side of your pain. And so the fact that, you push yourself to where it's painful actually just means that you have a psychological disposition to always change the boundaries of your limitation.
I was not athletically gifted aside from the fact that I was willing to try harder than everyone else. But man, if you're not all in, then what are you doing? Like if you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, what are you doing? What are you here for?
Be that person who just always works, like regardless of who's looking at you, regardless of who's around. Do it when no one's around. Do it when no one's watching. That's like the traits that you want as a special forces soldier. You don't want someone who just performs when everyone's watching. And if you do that, by default, you're going to perform when someone's going to be watching you and you're going to perform. But also by default, that's the person that you're going to end up being, is someone that just performs and does it because that's their job role and not because someone's watching.
I don't want to come into the UFC and beat around the bush. I don't want to take any tune-up fights. I want to get thrown into the lion's den right away. Either I am who I say I am or I'm not. And I'm okay living with the answer to that question, that I'm not who I thought I was. I'm not as good as I thought I was. I'm okay with at least going to answer that question, but I need that question to be answered. So I want to fight the top guys right away. I made my debut in January of 2021 on the Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 2 fight card in Abu Dhabi during COVID. Knocked out Dan Hooker in 2.5 minutes, did a backflip, ripped off a promo, and all of a sudden, a star was born.
I exhaust every resource I can to be as good as I possibly can be, so at least I can fall back and look myself in the mirror and go, not for lack of effort.
And so, for me, in a way, every time I face something, every time I'm being exposed to a new challenge, every time when I feel it's a challenge, it only tells me there again is a chance now to grow, let's say.
It's amazing what you can do, what the human body, what your physics can do if you really want to do something. And also what your mind can do. You can go much further than what you think you can do. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. And I say that I do some chats now, and I say to people, no matter where you're from, nobody's better than you. Don't tell them that you can't do it, and use that as ammunition, that negative vibe they're giving to you. Say, no, I'm going to prove you wrong. And I had this many times, people saying, I'm not going to achieve anything in life, I'm never going to move off a council estate, I'll never ever own my own home, I'm never going to be a good worker, I'm never going to hold down a job. I was having teachers tell me this as a kid, so that doesn't make you right. I'm like, no, I'll prove all these wrong. So when it was getting hard, I'd have people's mind in my head. I'm thinking, right, think of this teacher. And I remember the teachers. I won't give them, well, they'd be dead by now, but I think of them, I think, I'll show you get in this. And I had other people, I use that negativity as positivity. I know it's an old cliche, but I did, and that drove me on. I'm like, nobody's better than me. I'm proving this. So I went on that course and I wanted to give up. They'd have to drag me off there. Serious, I did. You've got to be willing to die on it, I think. And I would have done. I was just that determined. I wouldn't let anybody say they're better than me. Anybody can do really what they want. You don't have to come from a rich background or privileged life or anything like this, you know what I mean? But what it does take is a lot of hard work. No matter what you want to do in life, you've got to work for it. Sometimes people think, right, it's an easy, go for the easy way out. No, whatever you want to do, you can really do. But what it means is you've either got practice harder than anybody else or train harder than anybody else. You've got to put in the effort, first of all. And whatever job you want to, I'm not just saying the military, it might mean getting in that library and studying harder than anybody else and getting yourself back on track. You might be a few years later than you might have not got no qualifications, but I know people who've done all this. And you can do it, wherever you are, whoever you are. Just go for the best. And what could happen? You could fail. There's nothing wrong with failure. You learn by failure. Failure, to me, it's got to happen. Everybody fails in life. And you look at the best, the most famous people, I think Walt Disney and there's a few others who made massive businesses or they've achieved great things. A lot of them have failed many, many times. They've had knockbacks. And it's the people who are resilient, who after a knockback, what's better than a knockback? Or what's better than a setback? A comeback, isn't it? So if you can keep on driving forward and keep on saying, right, I can do this, you will do it. even if it's taking another attempt. And that's why, even forgetting the SES, if people get injured or they might fail and say, right, you just aren't good enough, then come back, get a bit more training and give it a go again. And then you have to do the course again. And people have got in, many have got in on a second attempt. But what they'll never have is a volunteer withdrawal. If you say, right, I've had enough, I'm going. And most people take themselves off selection. This is what a lot of people don't know about. They don't get failed just because they ain't good enough or they get injured. Yeah, there's a few injuries and some people do get told they need more experience. The vast majority of people, I'd say 90%, do what's known as VW, which is volunteer withdrawal. At any time on that course, you can just say, right, I've had enough. Not even get out of your bed in the jungle or your hammock, you can just lie there and think, nah, I've had enough. When the helicopter comes in for the next resupply, I'm going to get on that helicopter and have a few days on the beach, then go back to my unit. There's no shame in it, because then you go back to unit, everybody will give you respect because you've gone for the toughest course in the world. You know what I mean? But what you have done, you volunteered withdrawal. You'll never be allowed back on that course. Because you can't just say, right, I've had enough. When you're behind enemy lines or you're on an operation or you're in combat, you can't just say, right, I don't want any of this now.
At 16 years old, a single mother, and she was working a double shift at Wendy's. And at the time, she took me back to 125 Warren. And so 125 Warren was a 2-bedroom home. You know, there's 14 of us living there in that house. And I slept on the floor, you know, with my cousins, with aunts, you know, there's a lot of us. And when I was in that household, you know, my uncles were going in and out of jail, prison, from doing different crimes. So I would be in the park late when I was a kid and after football practice, because my mother worked a double shift. And so I would stay there and I loved the game. And when she would pull up in the park, you know, most of the kids would be going home and I would be sitting there on the bench. And she drove at the time, it was an old Buick Regal. And hubcaps off the car, you know, seats torn up, car was all beat up, but we loved it. You know, it was my mother's car. And she would pull up and get out and I would hug her, kiss her. And I would say, Mom, if you don't mind, can you sit in the car and turn on your car lights? I gotta do some extra drills. Gotta go to the NFL so you'll never have to work another day in your life. And I knew my mother was tired, right? And my mother never said to me, nah, boy, let's go, get in the car, let's go home, right? Like, bump that, not doing that. She would always go sit in that car and she would turn on those car lights and I'll be out on the field, I'll be running laps, I'll be doing agility drills, I'll be running sprints, chasing this dream to go to the NFL. And for me, that level of sacrifice was the thing that drove me and still drives me until this day, right? That's why when I competed, it wasn't just about a sport for me, right? Like I looked at competition, I looked at work ethic, I looked at dedication, I looked at commitment, I looked at sacrifice as this is life for me. This isn't about a sport. This is about things that I can extract from this sport and apply it to everyday life to make me somewhat of a decent human being, right? And so when my mother did that for me, that made an impact and an imprint on my soul, right? That I take with me even until this day.
It's a consistency. Am I better than I was the day before? Yeah, because naturally I have more experience. I have more experience today than I did yesterday. Have I been living in this vessel for one day longer? Yeah, I naturally have more experience. So it could be as simple as, did I work out today? Yep. Did I do one extra rep? Mm-hmm. Did I do more weight than I did last week? Yeah, 3 pounds. Not a big jump, just enough. Just enough to keep myself on track. Am I still pushing forward? Am I still applying steady pressure every single day? Yeah, I haven't let myself go. You haven't missed a workout? Nope. You haven't missed a 20-minute walk? Nope. Why? Because I said I wouldn't. It doesn't have to be this. I don't have to climb Mount Everest. I just need to wake up every single day with a reason to swing my feet out of bed and pop up quick. Like I have to have a reason. Why? Because I want to be better than I was yesterday. Because the people that I support deserve it. Like I'm not perfect. I'm an imperfect creature. Ask anybody, they'll tell you. The only difference between me and you is I'm actively trying to get better. A lot of people just want to sit there like, it's good enough. I said the same thing, dude. Until you realize good enough isn't good enough. You can always be better. There's a lot of room on the table, man. Like I can really be better. It goes back to the Be a Pro thing. Like that 1% better. That's how the professionals do it. How you want to get better at anything. Do it 10 minutes every day, 365 days a year. At the end of that year, you'll be better than 80% of the population that does that one thing. Doesn't matter what it is. Like, that's the truth. It does not take an exuberant amount of time or attention. It just takes steady pressure. And a lot of times, instead of doing it, you just want to scroll through IG for an extra 10 minutes. Well, you don't have to. You could learn a new skill. You could polish on an existing skill. You could have a better conversation with your kids, your wife, your grandmother, your mother, whatever. A lot of people just don't want to do it. It sounds too hard. It's like, I don't have the time for that. You don't have the time for that? You're not making the time for that. Same people that, they want to lose weight, but they don't want to diet. They'll go through 40 years of being overweight, and then all of a sudden you see them, you're like, what happened to you? And you're like, yeah, I finally did this diet, and I finally just stuck with it. And he's like, come to think of it, I never really tried before. I kind of just stopped eating the lean cuisines, and I gained 40 pounds by it. Now what? I don't change my diet. I stick to it, and I bring my food with me. I drink my water. I blah, blah, blah. So you just adopted the fact this is what it's going to take. Yeah, it takes what it takes. You just didn't think you'd be able to do it, so you just stopped trying. If you make it digestible and not easy but maintainable, people will get on board with it. And a lot of times they need to see someone show them, like, it doesn't have to be rocket science. It does not have to be so complicated that you couldn't figure this out. Tell everybody, do a 20-minute walk every night after dinner. Do it for a week. Do it for 2 weeks. Then do it for a month. If you're not losing weight, if you're not doing this, your diet is really, really terrible, introduce another walk. I know you feel better off the walk. I know you do. I've never had anybody like, man, I did those 20-minute walks for a week. I really feel like shit. No, you don't. Never had anybody say that. I've had thousands of people call me, like, changed my life. Me too. That's why I keep saying it. Like, I don't get paid every time somebody does a 20-minute walk. I only do it because I know how much it's helped me. Like, without those 20-minute walks, man, I'm not kidding you, I would be screwed right now. And I just don't want to see people suffer. I've been there. I've been the only guy on my island alone. I've been there. And I hate when it happens to people, because it doesn't have to be. Like, we can get through this thing together. But not if you're not willing to help yourself. If you're going to lay down in the fetal position and cry to me about how hard your life is, it's not going to work. You've got to be open, honest, and we have to be willing to put in some work. I'm not going to make it impossible, but...
You want to talk about taking chances. I booked a flight to Las Vegas, Nevada with 0 meeting scheduled with the UFC. And at some point, once again, it's like it all falls on me. I can't wait for the UFC to reach out to me. I need to go make this happen. And didn't sleep for a little while. We were on vacation, but I really wasn't on vacation. I was somewhere else, right? And she's like, hey, listen, I love you. You need to go to Vegas. And I don't care if you go to Vegas and you have to wait there for 3 weeks or stand out in front of the UFC headquarters with a boombox like that one movie, whatever it is. But you need to go there. We end up getting the meeting, and I go sit down with Hunter Campbell, and we have this really great conversation. And he's like, man, like, it's all but done. Like, we want to sign you. Let's find something out. As I'm leaving UFC headquarters, he texted me and said, hey, Dana wants your number. Can I share it with him? He's gonna give you a call. And I said, yeah, absolutely. And I said, Randall, give me Dana's number so I can save it in my phone so I know it, it pops up when it says Dana White, so I don't miss that phone call. So we went to a little place to, like, decompress, sit down and have a drink and talk about what just happened, because it was me and Randall in the meeting, and it went phenomenal, All of a sudden my phone rings and it says Dana White on it. And he's like, hey kid, I'm really sorry I wasn't able to make it. I was at a previously scheduled meeting. Now I'm on the tarmac. I'm about to go fly out to go do something. But he's like, I don't know what the F you've been talking to my team about, but they love you, and we got to get a deal done. And I said, Dana, I don't believe that you've ever signed a guy who was more equally yoked with you, the UFC, and your mission than me. And I would love nothing more than to be signed by the UFC. I would love to come over to the UFC. And like I told Hunter, either I am who I say I am, or I'm not. And I'm willing to go out there and go, 0-2 and you guys cut me. But I believe that I can go out there and compete with the best guys in the world.
The only thing I felt I had the advantage in my whole life was my work ethic. And I took pride in that, right? I was never the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, never had the most resources, but I had a work ethic. And so for me, when I got on the field, it was like I was free, right? I was free from my household, that 2-bedroom home with all the people. I was free from sleeping on the floor. Like, this was the thing that my identity and I could just be me. But also, I could hit people, right? I could tackle people. I can inflict violence, not get in trouble for it. So it's a vehicle of expression that I felt as if I do this well, I can get my family in a better situation. If I do this well, I can get my mother off the double shift at Wendy's. If I do this well, I can get my own bed. If I do this well, I can get my grandmother a better living condition. If I do this well, maybe I can stop my uncles from selling drugs, right? And so for me, I viewed it that way, right? And I firmly believe perspective drives performance. And so my perspective about the game is different. And so therefore it drove my performance to be different.
You know, there's this avoidance is a lot easier than action because we don't want to face our demons because it's painful. And I say, well, you can either face them now for the next 6 months or you can face them for the rest of your life. When I build up daily stress tolerance, when I face these things that most people don't want to do, two things happen. Firstly, discipline is a muscle which needs to be strengthened and built daily. And if you build that daily and maintain it, anything that life throws at you, you can deal with.
This strong mindset is also not existing anymore because of the lack of movement. So because it's very simple. Look, even in the disciplines that you are practicing, lifting the weights, there is that moment where the animal comes out. There is that moment where it's like your animal instinct comes out, which is producing suddenly more of this power. There is something which wants to push through it. In the different methods of what we are practicing here, there are also things to call out this type of instinct. But now, the MMA fighters, they have it. Everybody who practices this type of physical activity that at some point is related to a very high extent of energy, let's say. You have that moment where you need to push yourself to bring out that energy, to bring out that fire. But if your daily work, if your daily week is only sitting in front of your desk and doing office work, that fire doesn't come out. And if it comes out, it goes in the wrong direction. It goes in the direction of the head. It goes into the head because you're angry about something. But this fire of angriness and the fire of motivation are two different ones. Because the fire of angriness is something you cannot, in a way, control. But the fire of motivation, the fire of trying to achieve something for a better version of yourself, is something that if you practice it long enough, you can recall it. Because you have that fire inside of you. And this is where I also think that sentence, strong mind goes together with strong body. I think there is a similarity with it. Because you cannot reach to have a strong body if there is not the fuel behind it that gave you the push, the motivation to do so in order that you finally develop in that direction. So, and a lot of different jobs that are existing nowadays, or let's say the lifestyle, it is the lack of movement, it is that lack of physicality, and therefore also the lack of that mindset that when hard times come, you just push through.
You have no idea. You have no idea what your true capabilities. You only know what you've achieved so far. It's a lot of stuff we do with Vernon. How far can I go? How high can I jump? How heavy can I pull? Can I pick that up? I have no idea. I think I can. Well, let's see. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. If not, you become stagnant. You become really comfortable and good is good enough. This is good enough, man. This is fun. I'm totally content with being like this forever. Yeah, I mean, really until the risk of being the same outweighs the risk of change. It's like, I don't want to be the same guy forever. I don't. Until I'm really willing to make a chance, I'll be that guy forever. Like, I'm not afraid of the change. I'm afraid of staying this way forever. Okay, what are you going to do? Whatever it takes.
Do it because it's hard. If it's easy, why do it? You've got to challenge yourself physically and mentally, you know. I don't care what. I know where I'm losing out on. I need to start reading more books, and I keep on, because I go on holiday and I take the same book with me all the time, but I need to be a bit more that side. But you just got to do something different, but mainly challenge yourself. You can, even if it's that, the coach from the couch to 5K, get out there, do something, that will build you up, and just having that self-discipline is getting off your arse and doing it. And the hardest part is starting it. Then once you do it, you know, you'll get used to it, and before you know it, that builds consistency, and you'll feel, and that builds growth, and you'll just feel not right if you don't do something, and go for the next challenge, go for the next challenge. We're human beings, don't just sit back and say, right, okay, I've made all this money, I've had a good job, but what really have I done in life? How much have I pushed myself? How much can I say to my kids growing up, right, you can do this, I can prove you can do this. I did this when I was, but they don't have to be like you. My son, he's got nothing to do with the military, he ain't bothered about the military. And he's a chef, he's going, you know what I mean, he's a qualified chef. So that to me is brilliant. And my daughter, she's at university on her third year, she's going to be a doctor. You know, my wife's a teacher and she's doing a very important job. Never in a million years would I think, I've come from a council estate, I'm going to have kids who's going to be a doctor and all the rest of it.
We've got this culture now with like social media, and it's like you see the success of people, and it's like you see the success of what they've built, but you don't see the days where they're just bored stiff of just repetition and just showing up every day, right? Spending hours on their laptop, or you know, all the sacrifices that they made where they've missed birthdays, or they've not gone out with the boys, or they've missed holidays, or whatever it is. Like everything for that one moment of success, and we're so like, we all want that success to just happen overnight or happen on an Instagram post or whatever it is. But you think of climbing a big mountain, right? You think of standing on the summit of Everest. It takes 8 weeks. 8 weeks for that 15 minutes that you get for that Instagram picture if you stood on the top of that summit. But no one sees the pain and the physical and mental pain and the sacrifice that someone puts in to stand on that summit.
Becoming an asset and operating to the best of your ability is so underappreciated and undervalued in people's lives. They don't really quite realize that every decision that you make as a whole continues to rise you up, or it's going to make you fall.
People that do anything at a professional level, like an ultra high level, you can't ignore it. When you see it, it doesn't matter if you're Hans Zimmer, if you're Steven Spielberg, at an ultra high level, you see the sacrifice it takes to be that guy. I see all the relationships you've had to discard. I see the time away from your kids. I see the time away from your wife. I see the compartmentalization. I see every ounce of it, because if you didn't do that, no one would know your name. No one would remember you. You'd be just like the rest of us. You had to go above and you had to sacrifice more, and now that you have, you'll be remembered forever, because you are one of these standouts. You sacrificed more than most, but more importantly is you inspired everyone else to mirror what you've done. Whether that be in the production output or in the actual sacrificial nature of your life, like he sacrificed more than everybody else. Like how many people play back that thing of Kobe about everybody going out and burning it down. They came into the practice at 5 a.m. He'd already been in there since 3. He still did a practice, whooped all their asses, and stayed late anyway. I'm like, how does he do this? He's obsessed. Because he's not going to let himself go. He's going the entire way, and he's setting the stage, hopefully to inspire you. Like, we're trying to develop dynasties here. How do I get one person to affect change in all of these people? How do I make that infectious where you can't get the taste out of your mouth? You have to do better. You wake up in the morning, you're like, I feel unsatisfied. Why? I didn't do anything yesterday to make me better. Sucks, doesn't it? Yeah. What are you going to do today? Twice what I was going to do yesterday. Hammer down, man. Keep going. When you've got the motivation, keep it rolling. Keep pouring coal into it. Just keep going, keep going. I think once you get them going, it's hard to get them to stop.
many years I've pushed myself physically, and one of the reasons that I've done that is I have something inside me which, when you get to this breaking point and questioning something, it's the most magical thing, because it's exactly why that's happened. And if I think back to some of my charity events, you know, I pushed a 140 kilo sled for 24 hours. I got 14 hours in, blisters all on my feet. I thought I was done. My daughter came on my FaceTime and said, "I'm proud of you, Daddy." Straight away, back up, finished. I ran backwards for 24 hours, 109 kilometers. 19 hours in, I was hobbling, walking backwards, not thinking I can go, and it's just something. It's like, someone said to me, you're about 6 kilometers off the world record. And then something in me, I took off my second jacket because I was cold, because I was walking backwards, and I said, let's go. I ran my fastest 5k that I ever ran. I boxed on Everest, hour 9 of 24. My quad spasms, my calf went, and my heart rate was going through the roof, and I was like, fuck, we're done. And I was like, you don't need to think about the other 15 hours we've got, you just need to get through this hour. Got through the hour, I had a massage, had a little talk to myself, and then just got back on. And I like these little moments, and the reason that these are great is because you can't read that from a book. You have to take yourself to a place where most people would be like, this is done.
There's something about doing something hard, and there's something about doing something hard with other people that that's almost transformative, right? As a man, it's like, if you think of what we've done historically, you know, ancestrally, it's like we'd always go away with other men. We'd fight in battles. We'd hunt. So there's something still ingrained in us, just because we now sit in front of TikTok and stare at funny videos. It's like that's still in us. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that doing something like that, it feels natural, right? It feels, you know, I should be out all day, being outside and like building stuff or like making stuff, but I'm not. Like, I sit in front of a laptop, so I have to go and do something hard.
So once you really commit, and also commit to a certain type of practice, that means you need to bring out that discipline. It is that discipline that is fueling up this drive. Because we know that it's not easy. But no pain, no gain. Not even coming from the Shaolin Temple. Worldwide known, that sentence. But it's like this. I can only give the pain to others that I have received already. My bones can only be as hard as I have hit whatever was hard like that. And so that means take it as a challenge. Everything that hurts you, find a way to overcome it. Everything that you feel is difficult for you, find a way to still do it. As long as you can do the things, stop listening to the mind. It's like also in the morning, at least for me it is similar like this. When I'm lying in the bed and the alarm goes on, for example, if I'm trying to convince myself, come, just 5 more minutes, it's a bad idea. Yeah, so that's why I really got used to it rings, and then it's really like, in a way, I try to get out of bed as quick as possible. Then it's done. But in the moment where I start to get comfortable again, it becomes just more difficult. It's because that mind always wants to trick you and test you and challenge you. If there's not something that he can still like readjust you. No, but discipline in a way really means it rings, wake up. Because that feeling of not wanting to wake up, that feeling of, but it's hard, I'm tired, whatever, it will pass after some time. And there is no other way than just learning to get over things like this. That's it. We all have it here. It's just that we also know there is a price if you don't do it, and there's a price if you do it. And it's just up to you to decide which of those two paths of development would you like to be in.
It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at his worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
This video opened with DJ Shipley talking about distractions and limiting distractions and narrowing your focus. I remember when me, Luke and Jordan first started this company, we was in my mum's house, and we always talk about the pink loft. This is where the business started, was in my mum's pink attic space, which was like a triangular crawl space with fiberglass insulation sticking out. It's actually mine and Luke's bedroom. We had mattresses tucked into the eaves, and it was really cold. And in the summers, it was really hot, and the equipment overheated. But before that, our company actually started in my mum's living room, which was just hectic because we had a busy household. You know, there's 7 siblings. We've got a mum, and then we had a dog, cats, friends. And we would be focused on editing these videos. We were so focused on editing these videos. We was doing 100+ hour work weeks every single week. And I remember I struggle really bad with distractions. Like, I can get distracted so easily. Everything grabs my attention. So I would put on in-ear headphones, over-ear headphones, and then I'd put a towel over my head, and I'd do that so I couldn't see out of the corner of my eyes. So it's just me, the monitor, and the sounds, because any noise distracted me, any visuals in the corner of my eye distracted me. So that's how I managed to stay focused. And I think the easiest way to get focused is actually to create an environment that is easy to focus in. So removing all distractions. So if you're writing, if you're creating, if you're thinking, whatever it is you're doing or you're planning, it's good to get out of a busy area. Marie-Louise von Franz, who was a Jungian analyst and author, she said that she would leave the city, she would go out to the countryside in order to write. She said she just couldn't write in a place full of cars and people. And obviously you might not be able to do that in your life, but turn your phone on Do Not Disturb or put your phone in another room. You don't understand every little notification you get, every little person walking in your way and asking you a question, anything popping up on TV, anything out of the window, all these little things pull you out of the focus. And I remember they did a study recently that said it takes on average 24 minutes to get back into focus. So if you're getting distracted every 20 minutes, you're never fully getting focused. And I believe a mistake that me and my brothers made at the start of the business is we believe just more hours equals more success, more hard work equals more success. That we followed that rule of like the harder you work, the more success you have, which is kind of a good rule to have, kind of not, especially when it comes to focus. You know, I understand now that I would do 14-hour days, 15-hour days and editing away. And I truly believe now if I went back in time, some of those days I could have done within 3 hours of just deep work. So a lot of it was just wasted hours working, feeling like I'm being productive, which ultimately led to a lot of tiredness, migraines, fatigue, burnout. But it was all worth it because it got us where we are now into this position. But I think I'm filling in for Luke, actually. Luke's away with Jordan and Neve filming with DJ Shipley. They're doing an incredible project with DJ Shipley, which I'm so excited to be editing or working on at least. Maybe Neve will be editing that one. But these speeches and interviews you see in these videos, filmed by the team, either Luke, Neve, Jordan, but they are conducted by Jordan. So Jordan speaks with these people. He learns about their life. And what I like about Jordan is he lets them speak and he asks the right questions. He knows when to stop talking. He knows when to talk. And he gets the best out of people. I always find when you compare our projects with other projects, Jordan seems to get something deeper out of people. A lot of people, especially when people are doing the podcast rounds, they speak on the same topics and it can become quite drawn out. It's the same thing on every other podcast. But I don't believe that about our projects. Jordan's always getting something else. I don't think he looks at what everyone else is saying. He gets the questions from his own source, which is his mind, his experience, his intrigue, his interest, his curiosity. So Luke did say we're returning to motivation. This is how this company started, motivational videos. That was our passion. We used to edit hundreds and thousands of motivational videos. Most of them never got released. We just edited and edited because that is what we did. That's how we got good. Reps upon reps upon reps. But we are returning. There is 30 videos already ready that we've crafted, we've edited. None of this AI rubbish. It's a team, a passionate team, editing, working together, crafting the best motivation from real people. One of the reasons I personally stepped away from the generic motivational videos we was once making towards the documentary and film style videos we're doing, and certainly for me, I've stepped into philosophy and stoicism, and I like to help people that way now. The reason I stepped away from the motivation is because I felt like motivation can only get you so far. So in my immature brain, I decided that better than motivation is inspirational stories, is actual practical advice. But I was missing a key point. Motivation is valuable. It is so valuable. It gets you through the darkness. It gets you over the hump. It gets you to break down the barriers. So motivation is valuable, but it's also good to have a framework with it. It's also good to put action, because motivation can become procrastination if you don't act. Some people, I was certainly doing this, you watch motivational videos and you feel like, I've done something good. So the reason I'm saying this is, I want you to actually, after watching this, do something, do some writing, or listen to this whilst you write, whilst you run. Use it as a tool to get you through challenges. That's what I do. That's what Luke does. That's what all the team does. That's what Jordan does. You know, Jordan's training for his marathon right now, as is Neve. But Jordan has been training for this marathon after he did some insane challenges, and his body was very beat down. And he started working with Marek Health, doing his blood works, and giving him data, which Jordan's loving, and getting him in tip-top shape. So he will be doing his marathon very soon. So check out Jordan's page if you want to see this, because he's just like pushing himself in a completely different direction. I mean, Jordan, not long ago, he was doing strongman. Part of our documentary, he was lifting a heavy stone. He actually competed against Mitchell Hooper and this other strongman. And so he was huge. He was a beast. And then he's completely cut down. Now he's running, elite level running. And he says a lot of that is down to the work he's been doing with Marek Health. So if you want to work with Marek Health, get your blood works done, check the link in the description. And if you want to see what we're doing and where these amazing interviews come from, check out MulliganBrothers interviews. If you want to see the documentaries that are coming on the way, we've got some amazing documentaries. Recently, we stepped up our filmmaking game and our documentaries through our pre-production. We've put so much effort into it, and that's why we've slowed down a lot on the output of the documentaries, but it will be worth it when they're coming out. They're so much bigger, so much more vast, stronger storytelling, stronger narratives, and the themes are going to be life-changing. So subscribe to these channels and enjoy.